Hey everyone, Dr. Mike here. We're about ready to look at your re-exams and your re-x-rays. As you know, I really feel like we've been misled on how to take care of ourselves that have led us into positions where we've needed crisis care that's expensive, sometimes scary, messes up our schedule, and it doesn't always give us long-term results. Many of you came here and started at the office and you had symptoms that needed to be addressed. So we've gone through a corrective care process, and now we're going to see what the results are compared to the first time you were in. Now, we need to look at what we can do to start being proactive about your care. Everything that we've done so far with rehab and visits that are close together has been corrective. Now we want to look at and give you a chance to be proactive with what we call protective care. So what is protective care? Protective care, what are we protecting? Number one, the spine. The spine itself, you can't get a transplant for. You can get a new knee or a hip or even a heart, but the spine is the only one you're ever going to have, so we've got to protect that. The spine, you're going to find out, is really vital to your health. The second thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at protecting the initial investment that you made into taking care of yourself. It's just like braces. We know that when we go in and we get braces, the braces get the alignment right, but the retainer has to be worn over time to get the muscles and ligaments to heal around that new position. We know if we take the braces off and we don't do a retainer, little by little we go back to the old position. It's the same way with your spine. Now the corrective care takes us 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 months. That's what we just did. And that gets us the motion and the alignment. Now the retainer care or the protective care, that is what's going to take anywhere from 12 to 16 months for your muscles to get really healed and the ligaments to heal around that new position so you don't make that backward slide. So the second thing we want to protect is the investment. The third thing is we want to protect your sanity, meaning stress levels in your body and how that makes us feel as far as energy and stress and everything that way. Now, let me explain what I mean. We realize that life gives us constant stresses. I imagine it like we got a pipe and life is pouring stress into our stress bucket. Your nervous system has to deal with all the stresses that come into your stress bucket. Now, if we've never taken care of the spine and never maintained the nervous system, that stress bucket got to this point where we were spilling out. That's most likely what brought you here in the beginning. With the work we've done, we've brought that level down. Now, based on what your x-rays look like, what your age is, you know, what position and what shape your spine is in, we're going to give you some loose recommendations, something to think about here. Now, going forward, as you still have stress coming in, what happens is if we go once a week, 1 week of stress comes up, we adjust you and take care of you, not only taking care of that week of stress, but getting at some of these old stresses. And then a week of stress comes up and we adjust you and get rid of some of the old stresses, and you can see that optimally we want to continue working on lessening the stress in that bucket. That's one option. The second option is adjusting once every 2 weeks. Now we got 2 weeks of stress that comes up, and with the extra stress of that second week, when we adjust you, our goal is to get you at least back to where you were. And then a couple weeks come up and at least back to where you were. The goal is not having that stress come out. Now, anything more than that, typically way more stress comes up, and we can look at recommendations that way. You're going to decide what you want to do. Everything from, optimally taking stress out once a week and continuing to work on taking out those old stresses as your spine heals. The second is once every couple weeks. Or, you may choose right now not to do any care at all. Now, if you choose to stop with the care, the pain won't be the first thing to come back. What you'll start noticing is things like, energy not being as good, stress seeming high, not wanting to get after, the tasks that you have to do day by day, not sleeping as well, digestion not as well, and just not healing and not feeling your best. Then as that happens, yeah, some of your symptoms will come back. But here's the deal. I want to be your chiropractor for the rest of your life. So whether it's optimal care, where we're seeing you on a regular basis and it's part of your health routine, whether that's stopping care altogether and picking it back up when you have trouble down the road, or somewhere in between, we want to be your chiropractor for life.